Hi, I'm Kimberly Edwards with cookingwithkimberly.com. Good morning. Yes, it's morning. You're privy to see me in the morning, which is crazy. You might have noticed that I haven't started my clip off today with my typical mug of tea, and that's because I'm teaching you how to brew loose leaf black tea today. Tea is one of my favorite things. It's how I start my day. I usually drink it throughout the day. I like all different kinds of teas. You have to brew different kinds of teas different ways. There's black tea, there's green tea, white tea, yerba mate, rooibos, fruit blends, all different kinds of tea. Some of my favorite are the black teas. I think to me, they seem like they have more caffeine. They're stronger and I like them. I prefer them. Not to say I don't like the other ones. I do. I very much do. Today I'm going to show you a black tea. It's a loose leaf tea from a tea house in Bowmanville. My sister actually got it for me and I've never tried it before. It's cranberry flavored black tea. It's from Sri Lanka and the black tea is an orange pekoe. Now, I have just boiled my water. Boiling points of water is a big deal. Amounts of loose leaf tea for different kinds of tea is a big deal as well. Black teas, typically you're looking at 1 teaspoon per cup of black tea you're going to brew. Today I'm using one of my handy dandy lovely glass teapots that I keep breaking all the pieces to, but I've managed to keep one filter from one and a pot from the other without breaking them. I love them because they're clear, you can see through, it's beautiful. You can see everything that's going on in the filter. They have nice, great big filters. I don't really like the stainless steel ones that you dunk in there. They're such a pain to clean and fill and anyway, if someone else has something out there wonderful and better, let me know, please. cookingwithkimberly.com. Leave a comment and tell me what it is. Anyways, today I'm going to show you my gorgeous brew. So I'm going to open this. I've never even opened it before. I'm going to smell it. Everything is a smelling sensation to me. Before I eat anything, I usually smell it. Oh, wow, that smells awesome. Now, I usually drink my tea sweetened. And today, instead of using just plain sugar, which I usually would, and I would like to, I'm going to taste it without putting any sugar in first, just so I know what's up. But I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to use my flavored finishing sugar I made yesterday for you guys, the lemon zest one, lemon cranberry. It's going to be awesome. I have it ready right there. Okay, now boiling point. Black teas need to be at full boiling point. So as soon as your kettle goes off or you're boiling in your pot or however you're heating your water, you're going to use that full temperature to boil your tea. Now, green teas are more delicate. You're going to wait 5 minutes. You turn it off, take it off the heat, let it sit for 5 minutes. A couple of the other teas are like that too. They're more delicate and you can really make things bitter or change it. It doesn't work. Fruit teas, you can use the full strength boiling temperature as well. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to take a measuring spoon. Now this teapot, most teapots are about 4 cups of tea. So here we go. I'm going to put 4 teaspoons of black tea. Do your best to eyeball. It's not an even shape. It actually has pieces of cranberry in here. Beautiful. Now I hear my kettle, it just turned off because it hit boiling point, okay? All right. Bam. Into the filter. That's the kind of tea we're using today. So you can see. All right. I'm going to grab my tea kettle. And what I'm going to do is typically, I'm going to tell you again, when I do my chais in one of these pots, I like to put my honey in the bottom so it kind of dissolves with the hot water and in the tea. But today, again, I want to try it without sugar in it and see how it is. I always search for the perfect tea that I'm going to like without having to put any sweetener in. So hopefully this is one of those ones. So I'm just going to pour it. I'll show you. I'm going to pour directly through the filter till this teapot is full. Now, brew time is the other thing. and now just let that go down. You may help it along if you like. Brew time is a big deal with tea. And I'm going to start this timer now. Green teas, you're only going to allow to steep for about 3 minutes. Black teas, you're going to allow to steep for about 4 to 5 minutes. I usually prefer mine around the 5-minute mark. Fruit teas, you can go as long as 8-10 minutes if you want to. White teas, they are really delicate too. It's about 2 to 3 minutes. Oolong teas are about probably the same, 3 to 4 minutes. Yerba mate is about 6 to 8 minutes as well. But this black tea, I've already started because it started to brew. Now, the reason why this is a big deal, brew time, is because tea tends to get bitter. No one likes to drink bitter tea. It's grody. It gives you that sour beer face, that gross taste. Anyway, so after about 5 minutes with black tea, it starts to get rather bitter. Green tea is probably the worst to me. It is extremely delicate. 3 minutes is the maximum. I usually like to take it out around 2 minutes. My Darjeeling tea, now Darjeeling is a whole other animal entirely. Darjeeling is a tea that I would only suggest it's extremely expensive. It's one of the most expensive teas that you can get around. Save it for your tea connoisseurs because it is a more expensive tea. Only people that are very well versed in tea-ness, I guess, tend to appreciate the flavor of a Darjeeling. They can pick out the nuances that make Darjeeling Darjeeling. And Darjeeling is actually my favorite tea on the planet. I like all different kinds. But Darjeeling is a very delicate black tea. I only brew my Darjeeling for like 2 minutes and I barely put any sweetener in. It's one of the nicest teas on the planet. Now you can get different grades of Darjeeling. You can get Darjeeling tea bags in the store. Personally, I don't suggest them because they tend to be of a lower quality and you don't really get those beautiful nuances of that Darjeeling. Darjeeling is my favorite. But I'm very excited for this cranberry tea today. Now you can use, I'm going to show you those other sugars I did. If you haven't already seen the video, go to youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly and you can search on my channel. Actually, I think I did that the other day. It's for my own self, so that's kind of cool. You can search just finishing sugars or flavored sugars. Yesterday I made a lemon zest sugar, I made a rosewater sugar, and I made a matcha green tea sugar. And these are going to be awesome in their own right. These are finishing sugars. You don't really cook with them. You use them in teas and coffee and on desserts and fruit and things at the end. So today I kind of think that this is going to be the best. And it has really infused that sugar. Wow. Man, that's good. Okay, we have 2 more minutes left. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about tea. Now tea, I don't know if you saw my video last night. I made rye and cola bread for the bread machine. And if you don't have, I often use tea when I'm baking. I often use tea when I'm cooking. I always have a teapot. You probably see it on my stove all the time. I always have a teapot of my favorite tea already brewed. Sometimes it's cold, which really sucks, and I have to microwave it, but that's okay. But when I have the plain tea that's just, it's cold and I don't know what to do with it and I want to dump it, put it in like a tiny pitcher, put it in your fridge. Tea has more flavor than water. So when you're cooking and a recipe requires water, try using tea. It's neutral, but it also has a little bit of a flavor, especially if it's just like a straight up black tea like an orange pekoe. Now cranberry, be careful because these flavored teas, you might not want cranberry flavored whatever you're making. So if you're using your plain teas, even green teas, you can save them and use them for baking and cooking. So last night, my whole point was I baked that bread and I ran out of cola and the dough looked slightly dry. So I put a little bit of tea in there just to moisten it up. Tea is a staple in my house for a lot of things. I also use tea when I'm making soups and stews, all kinds of stuff. I love tea. In fact, the matcha green tea that I used is a very, very fine powder. And I've used it to crust meat with breadcrumbs and stuff like that. There's a very versatile ingredient that you might not think of all the time. Tea is just, tea and coffee, it's just neither here nor there. But I think tea is the bee's knees. So we've got 5 seconds. I'm going to turn my timer off because it's really annoying. Okay. Now, my tea is done here. Hold that thought. Now, be very careful because these glass pieces could be very hot. Now, I have very strong fingers that can handle heat because I've been cooking a long time and I seem to not just feel it very much. So make sure you get your filter out. You want to remove the tea because if you don't, that's what makes it bitter. Now, this can sit here and you're fine. All right, I'm going to pour it in this cup. Hopefully it's not way too hot. I'm just going to taste it for you to see what I'm working with here. Voila, that's how you do black loose leaf tea. Easy peasy, guys. And you know what? Again, I want you guys to look like champions. I want you to look like pseudo pros in the kitchen, right? So how much cooler does that look if you brew loose leaf tea as opposed to plunking someone a tea bag into their cup when they come and visit, right? How cool is that? Plus, it's a conversation piece. You can get those little blooming tea things you can put in, and it blooms into this beautiful flower. It's usually green tea, so be careful. Make sure you take it out. You want to observe it quickly and then take it out. So this tea, let's see how hot it is. That's a nice tea. The cranberry is actually very subtle. I'm surprised. I thought it would be stronger. The aftertaste of cranberry is much stronger, in fact, and the fragrance of the cranberry is very, very nice. I like it with the black tea. I think it's a great idea. Cranberry is a very strong ingredient. It needs a strong tea for its backbone, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a whole cup, and I'm going to try it with the lemon sugar just because I'm so excited to do it. I love these pots. Here we go. If someone could invent one of these glass pots that are virtually unbreakable, I would buy about 3 of them because I know I'd break them. I'm rough on everything. I cook and make things so much. Okay, so this finishing sugar, you're going to use it just like regular sugar. If you used a teaspoon of sugar typically in your tea or coffee, you're going to use the same amount as nothing has changed. It just has that little bit of lemon zest too. It's got that kick and I'm so excited. This is a big cup. I usually use 2. I don't want to hear any comments about it. I like my tea the way I want it. I don't tell you how to eat things. So, wow, that I can smell the lemon from here. Come up here with me. I can smell the lemon from here. Now, I have a tip for you. When you're trying to cool your tea off and you're dying to drink it and you're stirring it and blowing on it and all kinds of stuff, make sure you leave your spoon in. Your spoon is metal and it conducts heat. So it's sitting here and it's getting hot and it's in the air and it's dispersing the heat into the air. So it's also helping you cool off your tea instead of not having your spoon in. Now, if you want your tea to stay warm, take your spoon out. Don't leave it sitting in there. You'll be mad. Okay, I'm going to try it. It's going to be hot as heck. Don't laugh if I burn myself. That's awesome. The lemon and the cranberry go really, really good. I'm going to put tiny bit more sugar. Just because it's a big, big cup today. Can't keep showing you all the same cups all the time. The little chunks of lemon zest, they're actually very, very nice. I like them a lot. Wow, that's awesome. I hope you try something like this. Experiment in your kitchen. You know what would also be lovely with this? Maybe a lavender tea. They're usually white teas, the lavender teas with the little bit of lemon. That would be really good too. So try using the cranberry black tea if you can find it. I hope you can. Again, that's what it kind of looks like. I don't want to say the brand name. You can't see it. But anyways, You get them in little pouches like this. You can go to any specialty tea shop in your mall or wherever they are located, or ordered online, and they come in these little handy dandy packs that reseal. I hope you go to the Facebook fan page. It's facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. I hope you like the page and interact with me. Follow me on Twitter at cookingwithkime with a capital E, and go to youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly to see my web show, Cooking with Kimberly. Make sure you check out the site. Interact with me there too. I love comments, and I always answer everybody as best I can. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Good morning. Enjoy your cup of tea. Eat deliciously. Drink deliciously. Ciao.